Hello, everybody. How we doing? You guys okay? It's very peculiar. Anyway, hello. Good afternoon. How is it going? We are at the start of a new week. I am distracted, but I will focus in just a moment. I've had a bit of a morning, chat. We've had a bit of a morning. This morning, the Boilermen finally arrived. Hot showers will be a thing of my future. Once again. We haven't had hot showers for... God, it must have been since... October? Something like that. And to clarify, it's not that they've been completely cold the entire time. It's just that the shower will go on, and then go off, and then go on, and then go off, and then go on, and then go off, and just do that constantly throughout the entire shower. And it's been awful. But the Boilermen have just come in. They've completely replaced the boiler. But what it means is I was woken up very, very early this morning by a man with a drill. So, and they've been here all day. They left 15 minutes ago. 20 minutes ago. Something like that. It's 25 to now. 20 minutes ago they left. And I was very... cut it this close to having to push the stream back because there would be Boilermen here. And then I wouldn't be able to tell you this story. But they're not here now, so I can tell you this story. So I've been up here and I've not been able to do much in the way of work, and I've just been tired. Warhipster drilled in the morning, confirmed. Drilled in the morning, drilled in the afternoon. And sometimes drilled even in the evening. David Hill, thank you very much for being a member for 3 months. Hello everyone, hope you're having a great day. Yeah. I appreciate that. I'm having a good day. I'm just tired. UK still have those sinks where the hot and cold water come out from separate faucets? Yes. Yes, we do. We don't in this house. It all comes out of one in ours. But, yeah. Yeah, no, we're all good. Hello, Captain Manrings. Any EC ever show up for you? Well, even if they had, Alan, I wouldn't be able to tell you, would I? Just gonna show you my hand. And click all my knuckles. That's all I'm going to say about that. I was just watching your video painting storm vermin. Great work. I think I go with the same recipe. Thank you, James. Much dust. Yeah, there's quite a bit of dust. I needed to do... I needed to do some cleaning up, but they left so late and I had to go live, so... Alice isn't going to be happy with me when she gets back, but I'm just like, they've only just left. I didn't have time to put everything back. But there we go. So today, what we're going to do, well, we're chilling out, really. But we are going to be doing something I've been meaning to do for a little while, which is build these. Prosecutors. Because they're going into my tournament list. And this is the supposedly multi-part kit, but it's not. This is the same one that came in, what's it called? The other jobby. Scabe and Tide. So yeah. I've pretty much settled on what it is I'm going to take to this tournament in May. I'm pretty certain at this point we're taking Stormcast Eternals. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take either Yndrasta or Ionis Cryptborn, 6 Prosecutors, and a Ventus Firestrike. Everything has to have wings. But I feel like it's a little nicer than taking the Stormdrake Guard. Work on a Helgar scheme for my Krieg. What would you suggest for a contrast style light grey? I don't know. How light are you talking? Because there's light grey and then there's light grey. An army of all Cronduses. Oh, if only you could. What Stormhost will you paint them in? They'll go silver as the same as my, what are they called? Hallowed Knights. Just so that the army doesn't have 4 completely different coloured models, units in it. I've watched your vids from the start. Too broke to become a member, though. Sorry. That's alright, Half Lobster 5384. Administratum Grey / Celestra Grey. How many of them are you painting? Are you painting one single kill team, or are you painting an entire army? Have you seen Prosecutors in Celestial Vindicators? I'm not sure how I'd paint the wings. Yeah, I haven't seen an example of them painted as the Celestial Vindicators, but because they're blue, you could either do the blue flames on the wings, or you can just go for something slightly different. You could go for purple. That would work with the blue. You'd want to go for like a Luxion purple style thing, or you can go for like just actual fire red, because there is red in the scheme of the Celestial Vindicators, so that would also work. How's the Warlord Assembly going? Any status reports? The person who was going to come and collect the Warlord and help me clean it up had to cancel because of the dentist. So they're coming in a week's time now, 2 weeks' time now. So there will be status reports, I'm sure, but not yet. Do owe an apology. Watched your Striking Scorpion video again after my question last week and realised you deal with my question about 1 minute in. My bad. It's alright, GameX, don't worry about that. The answer is, how many is yes. Okay, so if you want them to be Administratum Grey / Celestra Grey, Chris, paint them that colour. If you're going to paint many. If you're going to do, like, unit of 10, then you can mess about with thinning down paints or whatever. You could always just spray them grey sear and then throw some Null Oil over it. That'll look closer to that kind of thing, but honestly, if you're going to be painting loads of miniatures, you don't want to have to thin down Basilicanum Grey the same way every single time to get to that colour. Is the answer, basically. Null Oil would work, though. Just over the top of grey sear. That would look great. Ricky Drinks Paints, thank you very much for gifting 1 Warhipster membership. That's very kind of you. Thank you. How did Helm Hammerhand, Lord Thorn of the Wold, and Ungrim Ironfist do? Terribly, as I knew they would, Thomas. They've all been a 10 out of 10 video. I've been around this game for long enough to know what's going to be a good video and what's going to be a bad one. Edward705, thank you very much for 1 gifted Warhipster membership. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Forrest, where is he? Someone knows where he is. He's downstairs in a box. He needs to be going to drink. But I'm a bit busy this week, next week and the week after. But after that, we might be able to get and do some Primarch painting. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I watched Ungrim at least, and my man Helm. That's alright, Sly Guy 77. I'm glad you watched them. Sorry, you know, they are videos that I'm sure somebody will come back to and will love eventually one day. But they're never going to be massively popular because they're not made for massively popular games. That's the thing with anything that isn't Warhammer 40k. You end up in a situation where it's going to be a crapshoot as to whether or not anybody watches the video. You might get a really good one if it's the occasional like awesome thing that comes from like Age of Sigmar or something, or maybe like a new edition of something like Necromunda, for example. That would be you get a blow up for that, but it's unlikely to happen when you just go how to paint Helm Hammerhand Wraith of the Hornburg. There's maybe a few people who are looking for the answer to that question, but a lot of people are out there who've already got it, built it, paint it, and have moved on with their lives. David Hill, thank you very much for the 5 gifted Warhipster memberships. That is incredibly generous of you. Thank you so much. Big gifters already. You guys are kicking ass today. That's very, very generous of you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. $2.4K is bad. Which video is that on? I'm sad that Fuller Grim isn't released with the army box. I'm not. Because I think the army box will separate the wheat from the chaff, as it were. You don't want to release the whole range at the same time, especially not a Primarch like Fulgrim at the same time as the army box. You want to sell the army box to everyone who's going to buy the army box. And if a bunch of people buy the army box and don't want to have anything to do with the Emperor's Children or whatever, or it doesn't do very well, you don't want to just like overshadow the army box with Fulgrim, because Fulgrim is a model that everyone will buy because it's a Primarch. So it'll just be sold out. If you want Fulgrim, when they announce whenever it is going on pre-order, you need to make sure that you are there, wallet in hand, at 10 AM local time, wherever you are, when it goes on pre-order. Don't expect to be able to still buy Fulgrim at 4:30 in the afternoon. And if you do try and buy Fulgrim at 4:30 in the afternoon, and then you get mad that it's sold out, and then you decide to go and find a bunch of people who've painted it early, and yell at them for having all of the copies, you're an ass. Ungrim's the one on 2.4K. Yeah, well, so when did I release that? I released that on Saturday, right? A good video is one that gets 5K in the first 24 hours. Peter Collins, thank you very much for becoming a member. Peter's a legend. Just buy the 30k one. Way prettier, says Aaron Pro. Will the price point be as pretty? Because the 30k one is... Ugh. Also, let's be real. In the hyper-competitive nonsense world that is 10th edition 40k, you don't want to use the 30k one. Not unless you want him to be visible over the top of every piece of cover ever. Is it Tales this weekend or next? It's not this weekend, because this weekend is the 1st of March. And we don't do it on the first day, because that would give me... 6 hours to put the pack together, and that's just never going to happen. It'll say in the description of the last Tales when the next one is. Might be on the 8th. Well, no, it wouldn't be on the 8th, it would be on the Sunday. So the 9th. Might be on the 9th of March. It's still got a bit of time. I think the army box is going to sell ridiculous. My local gaming store has 50-ish pre-orders when they have 15 normally for popular ones. Yeah, the army box is going to go. The army box is going to go like hotcakes. I mean, I think the advice around the Fulgrim model, it stands for the army box. If you want it, be ready at 10 a.m. Because otherwise you're not going to get it. And what I would also suggest to avoid disappointment is just have whatever you know. Obviously, I would suggest have your Firestorm Games affiliate website open. Have Firestorm Games open. And also have the Games Workshop website open. Because if your local gaming store sells out, or they've overpromised and underdeliver, you'll be left holding the bag, basically. Because as we know, sometimes some friendly local gaming stores will say to Games Workshop, we'd like 600 copies. And they say, you can have 50. You greedy Gus, you. Is what I would recommend. I have about 8k of grey to paint before I'm allowed to buy any more. Strong. I mean, I'm about the same. Have you ordered Hell's Last? I did. I ordered Hell's Last on Saturday. So that will be coming my way at some point. That can go into the graveyard of characters I'm yet to do. I would very much like to do Hell's Last, but that is time permitting, of course. Will we possibly see a Malaneth Witchblade? I didn't order Malaneth because it's getting towards the end of the month and I have no money. I ordered Hell's Last and I also had to order a bunch of paints and stuff. And that was pretty much my budget. Overextended for the month. Unfortunately. Did you see the pile of Guard that I posted in Discord? 100% your fault. Wasn't hyped about Guard till you got me into it. Well, I do encourage that you buy responsibly. And yes, I did see the picture. It amused me, and I went, this is a lot of models. Do you think it will be £145 retail like the Gutmob was? Yeah, the army sets are generally all the same price. Well, the good news is, Thomas, Frecker is also on the way. You have one more MESBG video. Which is one more than everyone else has done. It has to be higher than 145. Why does it have to be higher, B-Dog? Because there's more plastic in it? It's not necessarily true. Look at the price of the Deathcore of Krieg army set and look at the price of the Gitmob army set, and that will probably give you the price of what the Emperor's Children army set will be. How about Bard's Family? Okay, so this is the thing, right? We will eventually do Bard's Family. But if I'm going to do Helm Hammerhand, Lord Thorn, and Frecker as videos for you guys, because you asked really nicely, knowing full well that they will not do well for my algorithm, you got to give me a little bit of time to have any sort of desire whatsoever to do 3 models that will definitely not do well for the algorithm. I'm trying to run a record label over here. I've got to have a few quid in my back pocket. I'm trying to run a business over here. And as funny as it might be to everybody else over there to tank a YouTube channel, it's not to the person whose YouTube channel it is. Need to go to the last throes of 9-year-old birthday. Enjoy the stream, everyone. Have a good time, Fake Street Spirit. I'm not making 3 videos about Bard's family. You can get in the bin. Do you know what happens when you upload a bunch of videos that don't do well to the algorithm? YouTube never forgives you. If you upload a bunch of videos in a row that are 10 out of 10 videos, do you want to know what YouTube says? YouTube says, you don't make good videos anymore. You're out. See ya. We're not going to recommend your channel to anyone. And you go, but what did I do? So then you put out something like How to Paint Emperor's Children. Guess what? YouTube hasn't forgiven you yet for being crap. So that it doesn't show that video to anyone. That's just how it works. Zangerous, thank you very much for the 1 gifted Warhipster membership. Guys are being very generous today. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Opinions on Trench Crusade. I wish I could have one, the hybrid. But I don't know anything about it. I've seen a bunch of people posting pictures of it and being really excited for it. And I didn't know what it was until a couple of weeks ago, when a couple of months ago actually, when there was a couple of submissions for it in Tale of Many Warhipsters. So frankly, I just don't have an opinion on it because I don't have any of the models, haven't seen any of it, and don't really know what it is. Thoughts on the new Soulblight / Death's manifestations and faction terrain? The manifestations look pretty cool. I thought the terrain was a little dull. But at least it's, you know, you can use it for Nighthaunt as well, which is cool. It would lead me to believe that the Nighthaunt maybe aren't going to get their own endless spells, but I suspect they will. It's just they're not going to get their own faction terrain. They're just sharing with the Soulblight Gravelords. And yeah, I thought the terrain was okay. It's a little plain, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, you know. You don't want everything to be as ostentatious as, say, a Stormreach portal. Because, you know, you got to have a break from painting, building and painting like big, large, very pretty, but, you know, big complicated terrain. Looking to paint some Revenant Seekers with your colour scheme. What would you do colour-wise for the Dragonfly skin? Oh, yes, they do already have Night Ender spells, don't they? What would I do for the Dragonfly skin? I would probably just, you know, do what I've done on, like, the Gossamed Archers is probably what I would look for. So, like, the wing membranes, the colour of the wing membranes for the Gossamed Archers is probably what I would do for the Zephyr sprites. Is that what they're called? They are something I've been meaning to get to and do myself. I have 9 Revenant Seekers, and well, I have the kit 3 times to do. Revenant Seekers and the other one. What are they called? What's the other one? Spite Rider Lancers. But I haven't had the time. And I probably won't get the time until I'm at least half aware of when the Sylvaneth Battle Tome is on the way. Or I would follow the Belthanos for like the flesh, the under flesh. What would you call it? It's not a proboscis, is it? No, like that yellowy scheme. Boom, 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 boom. The Soulblight terrain also being a Nighthaunt terrain is a very interesting way of trying to separate armies out again by not doing that. Now I won't fully forgive them for taking my ZD in FEC. ZD? Zombie Dragon? Isn't the Zombie Dragon still in Flesh Eater Courts? I can't imagine it's going away. Oh, well, maybe it will. They did announce that new dragon. I don't know. That is an interesting one. I don't know what's going to happen with that Terrorgeist kit. Because the old Terrorgeist kit does build Prince Vordry. Or just a Terrorgeist / Zombie Dragon. And I believe it also has a... Or maybe it doesn't. But it can build a Abhorrent thingy. Archregent. Is it Archregent? No. Abhorrent Ghoul King on Terrorgeist. Yeah, the Abhorrent Archregent's the one on foot that's leaning off a broken pillar. That, for the briefest moment at the end of 9th edition when their new Battle Tome came out, it was like, yeah, this guy's an auto-take. Definitely want at least one of these, if not 2. And I'm not sure if I already thanked you, but Woodrow McWood, thank you very much for becoming a member. Did I already do that? I can't remember. No, I didn't. Because that should say 431. Legendary. Missed your last stream. Did you perfect your pink yet? I did it on the stream, I'll have you know, Ventura Chris. There's a video coming out about it. Don't worry. In between all of the drilling this afternoon, I managed to cut it. I just need to do an intro and an outro to it. And that video will be coming out this week. It might come out tomorrow. It might come out Thursday. I haven't figured that out yet. It depends on how long it takes for me to do it. Either way, there will be a painting video of some description tomorrow. And I've had an idea, chat. I've had a really good idea for this Wednesday stream. And I think you're going to really like it. I had to order some stationery for the stream I want to do on Wednesday. Because otherwise I would have done it today. What do you think of some chances of some of the older fleshier quartz models getting a refresh? I don't know. They got a lot last edition. I wouldn't be surprised if they just got like a character this time around, because they've already got terrain, they've already got manifestations. So, I mean, maybe, but like, I don't know. To be honest, I would rather actually they could keep a lot of that older stuff. I'd rather just new stuff like they did this time. Crypt Guard and Morbeg Knights, 10 out of 10. We don't need a new plastic Cryptghast Courtier, for example. Nobody wants that. Nobody needs that. I think the molds for the Crypt Ghouls could do with a good thorough clean. But other than that, are we making papier-mâché terrain on Wednesday? Spill the beans. You wish. No, we're not doing that. This Wednesday, we are going to do another video like we did, another stream like we did not last Wednesday, but the Wednesday before, about technique. And it's going to be just basically flat explaining how to avoid splotches, basically. Because I get that comment a lot. How do you stop it from being so splotchy? And I'm like, the answer is you didn't do what I was doing in the video. But obviously you don't want to say that. So basically, it's going to be how to use contrast paints properly, part 2. I am confused. Oh. Oh. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay. No, honestly, the amount of times I've had conversations with people where they say, I'm doing exactly what you're doing in the videos. And you go, show me. And they're not. Because in the videos, for example, what I'm doing is this. So I'll be like, we're going to apply this colour over the top of this model. And what we're going to do is just going to apply this like this. And I'm doing that in the video. And I ask someone to show me what they're doing. And they go, I do exactly what you do. And it's like, it's not, there's nothing like what I did, is it? And then it's like, well, I shouldn't have to do it that way. It's like, well, yeah, if you want the video to work. I painted my Blood Angels blue, and it doesn't look anything like yours. Why is that? Well, it's because you used the wrong paint. Evening. How you ever painted anything to do with Blood Bowl? No, but I will do one day when I have the time and a moment. When the urge takes me, Fabian. I have an Amazon. Amazon. What are they called? Amazon Harpies? Is that what they're called? I have that Blood Bowl team to do. That was a Christmas present from the lovely Alice. And, you know, as is always the way, one rarely has the time to do one's own hobby. That's why one has to have a stream on a Monday called Me Time Monday, where he does his own hobby. Good evening, Vicious Goose. Not overworking paint is a big part of brush control. Yeah. Also, and this is the one that comes up a lot as well, brush size. That's all part of brush control, brush size. If in the video I'm using a medium layer brush to do something, there's a reason I'm not using a medium shade brush. And again, a lot of the conversations I have with people, they're like, oh, I use this. And I'm like, it's not the right brush for it. You're using a shade brush, or you're using a technique that I am not using in the thing. So, like, I can't speak to the efficacy of the thing that Warhammer TV keeps recommending, where you dab it on. I'm like, I don't see how that works. And quite a lot of the times in the videos, they're like, we're just going to dab it on and then absorb it. And I'm like, I don't see how that works. And then it skips to the next bit. And do you see what I mean? I only suffer from splotchiness on tanks, which is why most of mine are grey. Yeah, well, tanks are hard to do. You can do them with contrast paint, as I have proved. But that is harder. It is harder to work on a tank because of the size of the area that you're working on. But it's not unachievable. It is achievable. Good evening, Jungle Camper. I will say, I do think that where you live has an effect on the thinning of paints. I live in dry California, and I always have to use more medium to achieve the same effect. Yes, that is actually true. Where you live does have an effect. It does. Like, if you live in a hot climate, it's almost impossible to paint base and layer paints without, like, a wet palette, for example. And, like, in the summer, I personally wouldn't normally, unless it's a big release or something, I wouldn't normally attempt to paint something like a tank in the hot summer, especially in my office where it can hit like 40 degrees Celsius. Because it's just insane. There's no way that the paint dries on the brush before it's even left the pot, really. Which is why you end up with that kind of scrapey effect. But yeah, I mean, scratchiness in contrast paints happens because the paint's dry on your brush and you haven't got enough. And splotchiness happens because you're using too much and you're not being careful with it. I'd say it comes from an over-reliance or an over-belief that the paint will just work by itself. And it doesn't. No paint does. You have to be a little bit more targeted with your approach. And contrast paint is a little bit of a learning curve, especially the way I do it. Maybe you could say that the way I do it isn't the right way to do it because it's marketed as a thing that you do quickly. And I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't have to be, does it? Because if we take everything literally as what it's supposed to be, then you would have a lot more hobby tools to do a lot more things individually all of the time. I thought you were responding to someone there, Captain Bannerings. I was like, did someone drop in the chat and was just like, "Ha, you paint slow." It's like, what have I missed? Did someone subscribe to a subscribers only chat just to be an ass? Happens more than you think. I am really enjoying this country playlist that we have on at the moment. It's so mellow right now. I'm just straight up chilling. What's the tournament you're prepping for? I am going to, I think it's called Contest of Heroes in Warhammer World, at Warhammer World, in May. It is a 1,000 point one-day tournament for Age of Sigmar. And I am 99% have my heart set on taking Stormcast Eternals. So I'm building currently 3 prosecutors. And the reason they're not on camera is because we've done them on camera before in the Skaven Tide sprue review video. So I'm just casually building them whilst chatting to all of you. And I think what I'm going to take is Aventis Firestrike, Yindrasta, and 6 prosecutors. Because Aventis Firestrike deserves a run out, having been on the shelf for 6 years. Only 2.5 models a day, rookie numbers. Now if it was 2.5 Bellicors a day, Well, you don't know how many Bellicors I've painted this year, Chris. It could be 137 or 0. You don't know, okay? I just wish I was good enough for all of you. What do I gotta do to make you love me? What do I gotta do to make you care? What do I say when lightning strikes me? And I wake to find that you're not there? There is a Rogel Dawn in that 137, isn't there? No, not in that 137. In the next 137 there is a Rogel Dawn. The Rogel Dawn is in the pile of miniatures that are proposed to be painted 3 weeks from now. But things change. But I'm going to be doing the Rogel Dawn and the Baneblade at the same time for my Deathcore of Krieg. In my Krieg colours. But I will be at Warhammer World on the 21st of May, if anybody wants to see me. There's also a non-zero chance that I might have a spare ticket to the same event. It is a Wednesday, mind. It's midweek. Can I say I painted 5 miniatures if I finish a base of Legion's Imperialis infantry? Now, I would say that if I'm going to be subjected to chat's rules, Mini Creative, you should also be subjected to chat's rules. And they told me, no. No, that doesn't count. It counts as 1. It still only counts as 1. And I refuse to be held to a higher standard. Arbitrarily. Just because I have a YouTube channel. I generally have it as if it comes on a base, then that counts as a model. Which is why a Primarch model can count as 2 models from Forge World, because there's 2 bases in there, so it does technically count as 2 separate models. And I would really like to paint Mortarion and Alfarius in the coming weeks. Bump my numbers by 4. So does a Rogel Dawn count as 0 models? No base. Yep, that's correct. Doesn't count. But it could have a base if you wanted to give it a base. What do we need next? We need the Javelin. Stormcaller Javelin. Is it called a Stormcaller Javelin? I think it is. If you don't base your warlord, it doesn't count. No. Warhound Titan doesn't count either. No, but a lot of people base their Warhound Titans on 2 bases. So technically the Warhound would count as 2 models. Look, we encountered this last year. Model number 1 of the year was Warhound Titan. It's like, how many models does that count as? 1. 24 hours. Just think of how broken of a human being I'll be when we do the Warlord. I did think it would be quite cool to make that the first thing we do in the new studio when we move this year. Rather than do it beforehand. "24-hour Warlord stream." Should have significantly more room, I hope. Don't forget to drop B-Day hints throughout the year or we'll just get you the thing you want the least. No. I checked, my birthday this year is on a Friday. And that's not even close to a stream day. And I feel like I'll get mocked if I do a specific stream on a Friday for my birthday. Have you got a Thunderhawk? I've just got one in the post last week. My first red box. So exciting. No, I haven't got a Thunderhawk. I do really want a Thunderhawk. And I don't really want it to play games with. I want it so I can hang it from the ceiling like Airfix models when I was a kid. My dad very kindly hung some of my Airfix models from the ceiling in my room. I used to love it. And I kind of want to do that with a Thunderhawk. But I'm jealous that you've got one. My 7-year-old is mocking you for having a Warhound Titan but no Thunderhawk. Logan says hi. Don't hide behind your 7-year-old, Ventura Chris. I know what's going on. You're sat there at home going, ha, what a loser. Also, damn it, you're right. Can I even call myself a hobbyist? No. Loser. Nerd. I didn't clip it off. Well done, me. Priming a Mastodon today. They are dead cool though, aren't they? Do you know what I miss? The Cestus Assault Ram. Now that was a model. I don't think they sell it anymore. It was... Kids can be harsh, but we still love you. Kids can be so cruel. They can? Thanks, Mom. Classic Simpsons. That's the ship with a twinned hull look. Yeah, it was also just like... It's just a brick. It's just a flying brick with a giant melter assembly on the front. It's all about ramming speed. Thunderhawk was my dream kit. Warhound Titan is next year's present to myself. Very jealous of it. You wait till you see the Warlord. And like I said the other day, I feel like at some point I am going to have to get a Reaver as well. So that we can have a basic maniple. Maybe a second Warhound. Just have a full... Is it a Ferox maniple? Is that what that's called? Warlord, Warhound, Warlord, Reaver, 2 Warhounds. It's not a Ferox, is it? It's got a name, though. Hello, Travis. How are you? Looking forward to watching your Lord Thorn painting guide. Thank you, Sir Strumming Fish. It's available now! Freka is on the way. That will come out this week. Either Thursday or Friday. Well, tomorrow, Thursday or Friday. Basically, there's 3 painting videos this week. There's another stream. Daily content continues, baby. And it will continue until I think 60 days of daily content. And then we might have a little break. Just a little one. Like a day off. Because that would be really nice for Josh. Just take an entire day to play Split Fiction with Alice. And have a sleep. Hey, my fave painter. You plan to do more Skaven, like Warp Cannon, Plague Claw, Storm Vermin? I don't plan to do any at the moment. That's not a never say never. Please, please, please do purple EAC, Mr. Warhipster. I'll see what I can do for you, buddy. I'm sure we'll figure something out. We do need a new coffee table. Warlord Titan is back on the cards. Yeah, so what you do is you make a coffee table where you have a Titan on each corner of a tabletop that is made up of 2 mantas back to back. And you place them in some wood and then fill it with epoxy, with resin. And that gives you a really, really, really cost-effective coffee table. You know, a lot of people, there's a trend for a while of people like buying like garage drawers or like a chest of drawers or like Malm stuff from IKEA and using that as table legs. But the trend that everyone's actually following, the cool kids on TikTok, is they're making furniture out of Warlord Titans. And if you want to be as cool as the kids on TikTok, you best get those Warlord Titans. That would be 4 Titans. That is 3 too many or not enough? Well, it depends on how many legs you want to have on your table there, Colonel. I mean, only 1 Warlord Titan. That is a poorly balanced table, you know. That's good. That's a leg right in the middle of the table. That's just, you know, you can't put any weight on that on either side. If you could please direct your insults down the middle of the desk for me, that would be great. Trying to get my Slaves to Darkness done before big AOS Spearhead night in 2 weeks. The rate you paint tattoos, zoologist, you'll have them done by the end of the night. You'll be all gravy. I didn't even glue another arm on. That was silly. Sigmar, why hast thou forsaken my arm? And replaced my shield with a peg. I'm sorry, prosecutor, okay? Gah. We have fun, don't we, chat? Or at least I do. I do always hope that you have fun as well. That you either have fun or you found something useful. And if that describes your experience with Warhipster today, or indeed any other day, then please do hit the like button. Nearly dropped it. How come we don't see the table and what you're doing? Well, because I'm putting together prosecutors. It's really boring. I've done it before on the channel, and I just wanted to sit comfortably. I mean, you could have a look. Look. There you go. Any more details on the sales/auction event? No, not yet. I need to catch my breath, basically. As I say, it's been a bit full throttle here since New Year's Day, and I need a hot minute to sit and figure it out. Do those wings work on Blood Angels? I personally don't think they would, because they're on fire. And they're also Sigmarite wings. But, you know, to each their own. They're not quite thick enough, really, for the new Sanguinary Guard. Sanguinary Guard are quite thick. They are thick boys. You think that they would work? So you're not going to have any turbines, just wings? Or put that between there, like that? I think they're too elegant. These are quite brutal. They're just very hefty, the new Sanguinary Guard. I also think you'd have to get rid of all the twin-tailed comets. I don't think they do, Colonel. That's my personal preference. You will do tutorial on these prosecutors. Good news, Peter. I've already done it. It's called Contrast Plus How to Paint Hallowed Knights Prosecutors. I think if they were going to do wings for the Sanguinary Guard, they needed to they need to make something a little bit more bulky. I just think they're a little too they're just a little too like light. They're also massive, and they will make your Sanguinary. They would increase your Sanguinary Guard's profile by a significant amount, which I know isn't necessarily a bad thing, but like you will be able to see them around every corner. That there'll be no hiding them whatsoever. Anything can work in 40k if you put your mind to it. Are you trolling me now, Colonel? Because you know how I feel about this. Because no, it can't. AOS forever. I love it so much. No, sir, not trolling you, Josh. My apologies. Okay. No, literally, each to their own opinion. I know I've said some pretty strong words over the years about people who convert Stormcast into Space Marines. And I stand by all of it. Right. You can do whatever you like, it's your hobby. Just don't expect me to like it. Too many bait and switches, I'll stop now. Altian 00, how very dare you? Any mods in the chat? We need to ban someone. What do you think to Neve Black Talent books? I find her lacking compared to the other Vandus Goddess ever told Callus. I like Neve. I think Neve's got a really interesting story that's yet to reach its full potential. Is the simplest answer to that. I like the implications of what she is, you know, Sigmar's assassin. And you go, what can you do with that? And let's be daring and bold with it. And that's it. I think what she's missing is a really daring and bold story with what she's supposed to represent for Age of Sigmar. For the Stormcast Eternals. But there's a huge amount of potential in her character. And she's the only one that's had an animation, so, you know, she can't be that bad. Don't you come crying to me, Altian. Oh, Alshan? Is that how I'm supposed to say it? I'm sorry if I'm getting your name wrong. Wait, why am I apologising to you? You just slandered my game, sir. AOS's best users kit bash parts for 40k. Yeah, because 40k does a lame job of making models. Be better, 40k. Honestly. I will have satisfaction. The challenge demands satisfaction. You can't say the same for our Krieg. Krieg are the only exception. To be fair, right, this year should be an excellent year all round for everyone. Okay. Because this is a year 3 moment for 40k. So, you know, if you really love 10th edition, you best start saying your goodbyes this year, because it will be going this time next year. We'll be heading in to 11th edition. This time next year, we will be elbow deep in a narrative campaign, probably around book 4 or 5, leading us into 11th edition. 40k. If recent history is anything to go by. But what that does mean, usually, is that the tail end of an edition is filled with cool stuff. As we're seeing with the Emperor's Children, for example, Deathcore of Krieg coming out in the year 3. I mean, it's technically year 3 of an edition by July, but come on. Think to the previous year when things like the Lion and stuff dropped. and things like that. So, or similar time, sorry, between 9th and 10th. So, yeah, presumably this year is a really cool year for 40k. We've got a couple of factions that are... Well, you can't just redesign them. Like, we're not going to get another Carl on foot, one would hope, for the Leagues of Votan. World Eaters, potential there. Death Guard, we know there's only one model coming for them at the moment that we know of. There might be more, but I doubt it. I bet it's just the one character, like it's been for a lot of the factions that are already pretty established. Thousand Suns, we don't know. World Eaters, we don't know. Drakari, we don't know. Chaos Demons, we don't know. If indeed Chaos Demons will continue to exist in the format that we know and love them in. We simply don't know the answer to these questions. I wonder what will be the focus for 11th. My money would be on Chaos, but it's been Xenos the last 2 in a row, so... I don't know. Hopefully 11th is an evolution, not revolution of 10th. Yeah, I would hope for that as well. So that your book is valid for longer. It does mean that I will prefer to stay on the sidelines of 40k for another 3 years in terms of playing the game. I'm not averse to playing it, I just don't like the way the game is played or written or exists in any way, shape or form at the moment. Got to be Orcs in 11th. No, I doubt that, Chris. They've had so many things over the last 3 editions, Orcs. You're better off looking at what Rangers haven't had a big do-over for a while. Drakari are a possibility. Or a perhaps unseen, unheard of Chaos faction yet to come. Do you think your Brown Krieg scheme would look good on my provisionally prepared Ratlings? Yeah, I think it could. I wouldn't know where I'd begin doing it, but it could, yeah, it could look good on them. I'm a little biased, though, because I think my Krieg scheme will look good on every model ever, because I came up with it. It's abnormally confident of me. But let me just ride this wave. It's called Being Really Tired. Slightly manic. Doing my best to stay on target and focused at the moment. Again, another reason why... Alice, if you're watching, I don't mean to wind you up. Did I even actually thank you, Edward, for the £5? I think I did. I read out your message, but I don't think I said thank you. Thank you very much, Edward. There you go. Neurodivergence. Look, they might surprise us. They might surprise us with 11th edition. And it might be something completely new that no one's ever heard of before. Because honestly, what do you do that needs a big do-over? You know, Necrons, done. Orcs, done. Eldar, done. Drakari, not done. Chaos Space Marines, done. Emperor's Children, done. Death Guard, done. World Eaters. How come you don't like 10th? I don't like 10th, Pritters, because even the basic way of playing is designed around the basic framework of ITC tournament play. That's the basic way you play. And from the ground up, the building blocks of 10th edition are starting at a competitive level. There isn't a way to play it casually. Unless you do a lot of work yourself. So back in the day when you used to get a set of 6 Eternal War missions, which was just all fixed, do this thing to play this game, where you and a friend can just get your armies out and do whatever is in the book. No, instead you're having to draw cards, and the cards make you do stuff that your army doesn't necessarily do. So when you have a card that's like, hey, hold 3 objectives, it's like I intensely dislike secondaries as a way of scoring. And the reason why I intensely like secondaries as a way of scoring is that the secondaries do not reflect the narrative of the game. More often than not. You can't build a narrative deck or anything like that. You end up with a deck that is things like go and stand in the table quarters. Yeah, anything that means you don't interact with your opponent is boring, and it's only in there for competitive players. And when that's in your casual game mode, it's poor. Seriously poor. For me, it's more about the lack of army building restrictions just doesn't feel as flavorful as previously. There's a lot of other things. I think the core mechanic of the game caters way too much to a crowd it should never cater for. Basically. I felt the same way about 9th. 9th edition was very similar. It's catered and designed for a crowd that is a minority of the Warhammer universe. And I am in the majority, not the minority. And I think there's way too much that has been given over to that crowd, and as a consequence, like Mr. Watkins mentioning there, stuff like the flavour has gone. And it's under the pretext of it being good for beginners. And in some ways, yes, it is good for beginners, but stuff like Space Marines, as long as you don't take the named characters, now have access to 17 or 18 detachments. That's nonsense. That's not there for beginners. That's not written with beginners in mind. Legion of the Damned. Well, yeah, there should be Legion of the Damned. Pip2, number 42. Thank you so much for becoming a member. That is incredibly generous of you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I shall update accordingly in but a moment. Just trying to push some pebbles onto a desk. I think, yeah. So, I think... Yeah, so my point around that is, if you take away sub-factions, you're taking away sub-factions because people find it too restrictive, and there's some people who will say, I shouldn't be punished because I painted my models as Imperial Fists and therefore have to play Imperial Fists. And it's like, but why are you being punished? What's the punishment? Is the punishment that you're getting to play with an army you genuinely love? Genuinely love? And also, everyone just ignored that anyway. There are specific rules written in 8th and 9th that allowed you to do Sons of the Primogenitors or whatever it was, to let you play your chapters whatever you wanted, but everyone just ignored it anyway. So you just saw green Iron Hands, pink Iron Hands, blue Iron Hands, yellow Iron Hands. You just saw that. That was all, you know. So people just flat ignored it. All you do is just take the Imperial Fist character out, boom. It's what people are doing now. It's just that there's no rule there. And they're saying that gets rid of bloat and it makes it simpler for beginners. But it's not making it simpler for beginners when you have access to, as a person who collects Blood Angels, you have access to the 4 detachments because of Grotmus for Blood Angels, the 8 for Space Marines, the 4 for Dark Angels. Presumably you'll have access to the 4 or 5 for Space Wolves as well. That has not been done for beginners. It's been done for the competitive crowd. And that's the same for every other sub-faction where it's gone. And so because the sub-factions have gone, you end up with detachments. And the detachments, I just feel, are lacking a lot of imagination and a lot of depth. And when they're lacking that much imagination and depth, you end up with things like, oh yeah, got a great idea, guys. I make this joke all the time, okay? And I've made this joke, actually, the other night to Tom. If you watch Liam, Mr. Liam. If you watch his channel, you know Tom. I made this joke to Tom. I said, I will find it really funny if all World Eaters get is Chaos Bikers put back into the World Eaters Codex, and there's a detachment that makes them battle line. What else does it do? That's it. Oh, it gives them auto advance. Can they charge as well? No. Is there a stratagem that lets them charge? No. And that's what I mean. Is when you have things like when that AdMech Codex came out, there was that detachment that made Castellan robots have literally the same keyword everybody else is. So they take a keyword away from a unit to make a detachment that gives them the keyword back. That's nonsense. What are you working on tonight? I am building prosecutors. What did Tom say in his sexy voice? He said, I will cry. And he meant me because he was going to punch me in the face for suggesting it. I'm kidding. I hope. Battle line just doesn't matter when there aren't really any other restrictions. Yeah, okay. So that's the interesting point around the thing I find interesting around battle line, right? Is battle line was always the thing in 8th and 9th. Battle line basically meant that you got objectives secured, which meant you were better at holding objectives. But in 8th and 9th edition, people didn't care about that. What they cared about was, I can hold the objectives just fine with something that doesn't have objectives secured if I kill everything on the opposing table. So in this edition, they've gone, hey, battle line, it lets you take 6 of them. And you go, 6 of what? The thing I don't want to take? I have the option between taking... Why would I take 60 intercessors? That's not in there for narrative gamers. You know? It's just not. Narrative gamers don't want to take 60 intercessors. Because do you know what narrative gamers will do? They'll do it anyway. They don't care. That's the whole point. Pip to number 42. Thank you for 10 gifted Warhipster memberships. That is incredibly generous of you. Thank you so much. Shall update the tracker in just a moment. I glued the wrong bit on. I keep saying glued. I'm not gluing anything. These are push fit. Legendary. I think you'd still enjoy 10th, but I get what you mean about the secondaries for sure. It means we can't tempt you to come to Joe's grand day out, I'm guessing. You can't, for the same reason that I can't tempt Joe to come to an AOS one-day event during the week. I will be in Nottingham on the Wednesday before. I can't then come back on the Saturday. That's the reason I can't come to that. Not because I will play 40k. I'll just make fun of it the entire time, and the opponent across from me will be like, "Well, if you don't like it, don't play it." And I'll be like, "Well, if you don't like Age of Sigmar, stop commenting on Age of Sigmar videos about how it's Age of Shitmar." It's a double-edged sword, baby. Wargo, thank you very much for €10 super chat. That is very, very kind of you. Let me just update this. Pow. Is that correct? That is correct. Hi there. Thanks for your tutorials. I got one question though. For your Tyranid painting videos, for example, the Death Leaper / Neurolictor, do you thin those contrast paints? Thank you very much. No. Not unless it says so in the video. So if I do like 2-to-1, if I do like Leviathan Purple, 2-to-1 mix of contrast medium or Larmian medium and Leviathan Purple, that's when I'm thinning them. Otherwise, it's straight from the pot. But thank you very much, Wargo. That's very kind. Had to go for the 442. A rigid 442 system. I appreciate it. You're a man after my own heart. And that's when the stream became Warhipster's all-time Premier League 442. No, it won't. No, it won't. Because that way, arguments lie. Totally a reason you should come. I said to Joe, I'll come if someone picks me up on the way and takes me home again. And he said he can't do that because he's going up the night before, I think. So if someone's passing through Cheltenham on the way to Nottingham and doesn't mind having a very socially awkward YouTuber in their car for 2.5 hours and then on the way back, then I will come. I'll be in streaming mode all day. And I'll be tired, so I'll be like this. Hi Josh, what contrast colours would you recommend for Stephen Fry's uniform in Blackadder Goes Forth? Painting Lord Marshal Dreer. General Cecil Sir Hogmanay Melchett. Bal Red. For that. Bal Red's perfect. Just need a little bit of shading. Bal Red, and then I usually go 1-to-1 mix of Blood Angels Red and Larmian Medium over the top. That'll do you. If you want it to be a little bit more crimson-y, you could perhaps use Berserker Blood Shade over the top instead. Hi Josh, what contrast colours would... we already did that. So, wait, Nottingham is a real place? It is indeed. It is indeed. I'm trying to find the live stream for the Celestial Warbringers. Any idea what Me Time Monday it would have been? Did I do a live stream on Celestial Warbringers? Which one in particular? Did I say something that was useful in it? Or are you just looking for a painting video? Oh, that's very confusing. I had 2 instances of my live stream open. Whoops. Hello, Go For It Painting. Looking for the painting video for Celestial Warbringers. Well, there you go, Luke. Contrast Plus, how to paint Celestial Warbringers. You almost kill me. Was following your Commissar vid, got to the base and you said Armageddon Dust. What the hell? I occasionally surprise you. That's because that's my Cadian scheme, I believe. Armageddon Dust shaded with Gore Grunter Fur. How you doing, Go For It Painting? You okay? You groovy? Are you grooving? I have done what I set out to do today, ladies and gentlemen. 3 prosecutors all built. I love push-fit models. I really do. So quick and easy. Now I just have to paint them. Or find the time to paint them. That's the harder part. I've got between now and the 21st of May to paint 3 prosecutors. I think I can do it. I did also have another dumb idea for the tournament, which I don't think it would be very good, but I think it would be very, 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 very frustrating for people to play against. And it just means the games would go on for ages. Let me see if I can find it. I wouldn't have to do anything for it as well. Yeah. This is it? Yes. So, the idea being... Oh, it's so horrible. The idea being that it's Bastion Carthalos, a Knight Vexillor, 10 Liberators, 10 Vanquishers, and 10 Vindictors. It's just like, yeah, go on then, get through all of that. Have fun. I won't kill you. But you won't kill me either. What does tournament prep consist of? Tournament prep today, Mr. James, consisted of building these 3 prosecutors because I think I know what I'm going to take to this tournament now. So, I have an idea. I'm interested in what you guys at home think. 6 prosecutors, 2 units of 3. Aventus Firestrike, who is this lovely man up here, who will only be valid until the 21st or 1st of July. So I'll have about 6 weeks left to use him in a game for the first time. He's been on the shelf for 6 years. First unpainted, now painted. But he moves to Legends with the rest of the Sacrosanct Chamber. So, 6 prosecutors, Aventus Firestrike, and then either Yndrasta, the Celestial Spear, or Ionis Cryptborn. One or the other. 2 big things with wings and 6 little things with wings. I want my entire Stormcast army to fly. I could make it 1,000 points on the nose if I replaced the if I replaced one of the units of prosecutors with a Knight Azeros. But I don't want to do that. Is that 2,000 points? No, it's 1,000 points. It's a 1,000 point day tournament I'm going to. It's a pretty rude 1,000 points. Ionis for double dragon action. Well, I thought about it the other day. You could take 2 models, and it would be totally legal. How's this? Try this one on for size, my friends. Karazai the Scarred, and a Lord Celestant on Stardrake. Thanks for all your work, Josh. Started painting in November last year again, since 3rd edition, because of your videos. Brought colours for Grey Knights, but then started with Skaven-Tide Spearhead, and after 20 Clan Rats, I still fell in love with painting. After Clan Rats? You're a stronger person than I, Pip. After I did 40 Clan Rats, I never wanted to paint again, but I have a YouTube channel, so I was painting the next day. This is my job. Now, I did want to go to a 2,000 point AOS event, but I saw the tickets for this and I was like, 1,000 points midweek on a Wednesday sounds perfect. Sign me up. Which means that the 21st of May I probably won't be streaming, which is why I'm doing like 60 to 70 days worth of content in a row now just to make up for that. I hope that you guys will forgive me. Not far to 80k now, though. No. We might do it this week. Maybe. 356 people. 356 people are required to come and join the community of Warhipster to take us to 80,000. I was joking. It's not a cult. Just before anyone thinks that it is and runs for the hills. Depends how well Saturday's sprue review goes down. Is there a sprue review on Saturday? No game cam streaming from Ionis's lantern. Well, see, we would do that if it wasn't at Warhammer World, but Warhammer World take quite a dim view of you streaming from there. I don't think they'd like it. Generally, the terms and conditions say, no. And a fine job you do. That's very kind, Travis. I try my hardest. I do my best, and that's all anyone can ask for. You going to Warhammer World? Is the new Skaven model out by then? Oh, what, the store anniversary one? Or is that the event exclusive? Can't remember. Well, maybe it'll be there. I don't know. AOS for the win! I'm currently painting a Luminarch of Hysh. Fiddliest thing I ever painted. Oh, I don't blame you there, Steve. Luminarch of Hysh is quite the undertaking. At this point in time, I think, in my recent memory, the fiddliest thing I've done is the Rattlings. So small. So small. So detailed. Ugh. Too much. I do kind of also want to try a list that is Yndrasta and then nothing but prosecutors. I think that would be the most annoying list I could take to an event. Basically 1,000 points of prosecutors. You wouldn't be able to take 30, because that would be 1,400. But no rule of 3 after all. But Yndrasta is 330 points. And they're 140. So 280, 560. That'd be 890. So you can take 12 prosecutors with the Yndrasta. Or you just take Taunus the Redeemed for 150. No. The Azeros is 150. It's possible. You know, you can do a lot. But then I would have a lot of prosecutors, and I don't need that many prosecutors in my life. Yeah, you can take Knight Azeros plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 lots of prosecutors. So 6 lots of 3, or 3 lots of 6. So 18. I don't know anyone who would be willing to enjoy that game. You're never gonna catch me! Catch me! Tee-hee-hee-hee-hee. Oh, it's all good fun. But yeah. I don't know. Maybe Ionis, maybe Yndrasta. I haven't decided on which one is which yet. Which one I'm leaning towards. But I do want to take Aventus Firestrike, because he's a wizard. I could cast a Purple Sun of Shaiish. Aha! That would be fun, wouldn't it? Oh yeah, that's a point. I need to take the portal as well. I lost the will to live during a Scarab Occult Terminator last week. No wonder there are so few T-Sun tutorials on YouTube. Nobody can be asked to paint them. They are quite tricky. Having done Magnus the Red, Araman, and the Infernal Master on the channel, they're just... It's just Trim City. It's just too much. Did you say Purple Sun? I'm working on that at the moment. Yes. Take a Purple Sun of Shaiish. Enjoy! Just have Aventus Firestrike flying around with his happy-go-lucky Purple Sun. Enjoy! 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 Trim City sounds good to me. Trim City is either a place where everything is covered in elaborate decoration, or everyone's a barber. It's one of the two things. And nothing else. Purple is close to blue, isn't it? It is. It is. It's in the colour spectrum. Lumineth also live in Trim City. Yeah, they do. Yeah. Especially Alarith, the heart of the mountain or whatever it is. Now that, with all of its inlaid like filigree. It's not filigree, but like all of the decoration on the armor panels. It's not Alarith, is it? The Alarith are the stone guys. Avalanor? Is that what it's called? Avalanor the Stoneheart King. That's the one. Yeah, violets are like the purple sun. Yeah, I would accept it. I would accept it. Have you already made a Stormcast Eternals army list? I have. I have many options. The one I'm leaning towards at the moment, Batos, is 6 prosecutors, 2 units of 3, Yndrasta, and Aventus Firestrike, the Magister of Hammerhall. I love that model. I really love it. It's him. You can see him just there. The alternative is that I take Yndrasta out and put Ionis Cryptborn in. But Aventus is not coming out of the list. Really nice, but don't know if it's cool in game. Well, let me tell you. Where is it? Ah, there we go. So, Aventus Firestrike has a 14-inch move, has 12 health, has a control score of 5 and a 3+ save. Has 2 melee weapons. Loithar's Stamping Hooves, the Taurolon. 3 attacks, 4+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend 1, damage D3, companion. Then there's the Staff of Hammerhall. 4 attacks, 3+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend 2, damage 2. It's pretty good. We have once per turn, army, any combat phase, Comet Trail. Pick an enemy unit in combat with this unit to be the target. For the rest of the phase, add 1 to hit rolls for combat attacks that target that enemy unit. Oh. Prosecutors, where are you? Hitting on 2s. In your hero phase, Thunderhead Crown. Effect. Heal 3 to this unit. So just reprocs 3 health every turn. In your hero phase, not in your opponent's hero phase. That's pretty good. And also a spell. Pyroelectric Blast. Pick a visible enemy unit within 12 inches of this unit to be the target. Inflict 3 mortal damage on the target. Then inflict 1 mortal damage on each other enemy unit within 3 inches of the target. That is a spell that goes off on a 6. And furthermore, Aventus Firestrike is a Wizard 2. So it has 2 spells. So it can cast 1 from the spell lore as well. Are there battle tactics in a 1,000 point game? I believe so. Love your work. Can't wait to see what you do with the Emperor's Children. Me neither, Nathan. How soon do we find out the options for next month's Tales? Well, Travis, you are somebody that I think will appreciate this, because a question was asked of myself. Is there a way that those of us who may have missed a month can make up the time? Well, I think that's what we're going to do in March. So I don't think there is. I don't think I'm going to put. I don't think I'm going to let you democratically elect it. The theme. I think the theme for March will be March Madness. And you interpret that however you like. Sounds mad. I know. Hello, Martin. So basically an insane amount of minis. Got it. No. How mad is mad? Well, you have to determine that, don't you? For battle tactics, you're going to need more mobility. I say drop Yndrasta and take Ionis. But they're both very fast. Also, remember, in 1,000 points, there will be people like me bringing a monster. And if they're bringing a monster, I should have the monster killer. I think she's better at countering what other people can do. Since if other people are bringing things like Vizix Scour, or Usharan, or Belthanos, or any other of the big monsters, or a Gargant, for example, Yndrasta makes a mockery of them. Is she that strong? Oh, my friend. Let me grab the rules for you. Yndrasta has a 12-inch move. 8 health, a 3+ save, a control characteristic of 2. She has Thengava as a ranged attack and as a close combat attack, as well as the Blade of the High Heavens. Thengava is anti-monster +1 rend, 12-inch range, 1 attack, 3+ to hit, wound 2+, rend 2, damage 4. In combat, Thengava is anti-monster +1 rend. Attacks 2 attacks, 2+ to hit, 2+ to wound, rend 2, damage 3. And the Blade of the High Heavens is 5 attacks, 3+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend 2, damage 3. Passive, the Prime Huntress. Double the damage characteristics of this unit's Thengava for attacks that target monsters. So against monsters, she's damage 6. The spear being thrown alone is damage 8. So she has the potential against monsters to do 12, 20, and then 50 damage. She can do 50 damage to a monster. She's a pretty hard counter to anybody else who's being an ass like me and taking a bloody great monster. She also has a ward of 5+. She ignores negative modifiers to the control scores of friendly Stormcast Eternals units while they are wholly within 12 inches of this unit. And on Wings of Brilliance, add 1 to the number of dice rolled when making charge rolls for this unit to a maximum of 3. So yeah. Her plus 6 prosecutors can get around really fast. She's a bit strong. Now the problem with Ionis, he has a 12-inch move, so they're the same speed. He does have 16 wounds. And the Spirit Scouring Flames are good. But doesn't have a ward. So can be killed quite easily. Because 16 wounds, 3+ save isn't that tough to get through. And doesn't do anywhere near as much damage in combat. Hi Josh, what we got going on today? I've built some prosecutors. I built 3 prosecutors today. You're just to do it on a wet Tuesday night at Stoke. Good point. Ionis can take the ward from Sentinels. I don't have Sentinels. Now you're asking me to abandon the theme, Steve. Unless I can give Sentinels wings. It's 1,000 points. 1,000 points. I think, yeah, I would suggest at 2,000 points, if this was the choice, then Ionis is probably the better choice. But at 1,000 points, as a hard counter to somebody else bringing a monster, because that's my thing. If somebody else brings a monster, I have no counter to it, because I'm Stormcast. I can't do any damage. And other people will bring monsters. It's a better choice, I think. Sentinels of the Bleak Citadels. Yeah, no, I don't want to take that. I don't know what I'm gonna, how I'm gonna build it, but I think he's really strong. I don't think he's the right choice at 1,000 points. Rule of cool always wins. It does. It does. And he is a very cool model. Pissing off a lot of those meta dudes. A lot of the meta dudes. I always do, Kataro. Do you know what I did? Do you know what I did in 9th edition? I played demons with the 8th edition codex for all of it. Best counter to the monster is not don't be there. Translocate. No, you are correct. However, I have 4 units. There's no other assets on the table. So teleporting a dragon away, translocating him away, and bearing in mind it's a prayer that might not go off, isn't it? It's not a sure thing. Prayer law. There it is. Yeah, it goes off on a 4, and that's not guaranteed. You still have to roll it. All right. So, let's say he comes up against the Gargant, and the strategy is don't be in combat with the Gargant, and you fail the prayer. That's it. Game over. If he translocates away, what does the Gargant do? Goes and kills one of my scoring units. I'm left with a Ventus Firestrike and a unit of prosecutors and a dragon that doesn't want to be anywhere near combat. That's my view on it. At 1,000 points, I think it's too tech, and it doesn't it's not conducive to the list I want to play, which is everything flies around really fast as just a single missile. How did you get caught by a Gargant? Combat doesn't win AOS tournaments. No, but 3 objectives being in a line across the middle does. And like I said, when you have 4 assets, you're not winning that game, ever. There you go. We can agree to disagree, Steve. that's the beauty of it. Yeah, you are correct. I think in a traditional 2,000 point instance, in a 1,000 point instance, it's a completely different format, really, at that point, right? Because you're playing a smaller game, much smaller game. Oh. Got a sore elbow for some reason. Anyway, guys. It is time for us to conclude things. So, yeah. We've got 3 videos for you this week. We've already mentioned it, but how to come up with contrast colours is a video. It's coming out. It's the one that we streamed the other day. So yeah, if you were there for the stream, it will just be up now forever as a proper video. I've put the red circles in that I said I was going to do. I'm going to add an intro and an outro explaining a little bit more, plus maybe a little bit more content. I just need to go back and watch it through again just to make sure it makes sense to me. But you also got Contrast plus how to paint the Astra Militarum Primaris Psyker, and Contrast plus how to paint Frecker, Lord of the West March, for MESBG. And we will be streaming on Wednesday, and it will be a technique stream. It'll be how to avoid splotches and scratches with contrast paints, like your boy, the Warhipster. There'll be lots of theory and stationery. I bought pens. So it should be a pretty cool stream. Please do make sure you're there for it if you want to have the answer to those questions. It shouldn't be too surprising what's in there, but there will be a little bit more talk around all of that theory stuff that you guys liked on last couple of weeks back when we did the contrast colours video. So we will be doing that on Wednesday. So great stream, hopefully. We'll also record that one and upload it as another VOD, another video, like we are going to do. You'll just have to tell me whether you like this video. That I'm going to put it out tomorrow, I think. Contrast colours. So make sure you watch that tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. We'll be live on 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday, and then we got painting video Thursday and Friday, and then we got stuff on Saturday and Sunday that I cannot tell you a single thing about. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you're having a good time. You know, just in general, just just generally hope that for you. Anyway, thank you very much for hanging out with me. I will see you all very soon in the next one. Here is the farewell. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.